Gotchasports. We are back. Another episode, another week. Carrie, how are we feeling?
Real good, real tired. Ready. I've been ready for Saturday since last Saturday. Um, I think more and more I feel that every single day now. The NFL is great. I'm glad I've gotten into fantasy football and, paying attention to the NFL the most I ever had this year, most I ever had. But there's just something about college football that once one Saturday passes, I'm already ready for the next one. And it's not even due for the reasoning that it's the weekend. It's strictly just something about the sport right now that I'm loving. I don't know if it's
Sports,
fall
man.
time. Yeah, I think mixture of the fall too. Just there's nothing that even beats a good tailgate, but there's nothing just being at home on the couch, being able to watch every game too.
For sure. Absolutely. You recently had a big move, some life changes going on. How's the fall weather back in the Midwest treating
I mean, it's not too bad. It was actually
you?
raining in Arizona when I left from the hurricane in Mexico, and I think it's rained just about every single day I've been back in the Midwest so far. So it's
Yep.
great though. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm enjoying it right now. I'm sure that feeling's going to go away eventually. So for right now, I'm enjoying it as much as possible.
Let's go. That's big time. I know we're coming up on snow season here soon, so you'll get the real taste of what it's like to be back in the Midwest here shortly.
Right.
Well, if it's your first time joining us, appreciate you. We are Gotcha Sports. Today's episode, we are going to talk about the MLB. We are heading right into the World Series. We got a lot to unpack there. Bringing only one segment today outside of sports, and that is You Are Old When. We introduced it last week or 2 weeks ago on the podcast, so we're going to bring it back here for another edition. And then we'll get into our typical college football stuff. We're going to do a halfway recap. We are about halfway through the season, so we'll talk about some legit teams that we've seen, fraudulent teams, who we like in college football so far, and then we'll go into our preview for this week. 3 games, pretty boring. I wouldn't say boring slate. It's not as jam packed as it has been for a couple of weeks this year, but still a lot to unpack there. And then, of course, we will end it with not the best bet, but special edition best bet. Carrie, MLB World Series is here. We've got the Blue Jays taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's been a crazy playoffs. Some really, really good baseball games.
Yeah, definitely been a long postseason road for a few teams other than the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have lost one game so far to the Phillies. Maybe I swept the Reds, lost one of the Phillies, swept the Brewers. But yeah, I mean, other than the Dodgers series, we've seen a lot of really good series so far. Cubs Padres was great. You know, Cubs Brewers hurt me a lot. Great series though. Yankees Red Sox was a good one. Um, but yeah, I mean the Mariners Blue Jays one I want to talk about quick just because that was very
Yeah.
back and forth action the entire time. It was really interesting actually to see the first 4 games won by the away team, which kind of shocked me.
I know, right?
You don't usually see that happening, and Mariners ended up winning that game 5 to send it back to Toronto, and then Toronto needed to win too, and they did. But I mean, just it was great baseball all around. And I think you and I have mentioned it before. We questioned the Dodgers definitely halfway through the season, but at this point of the playoffs, I can't really convince me to bet on the Mariners at all. The Dodgers starting pitching has been absolutely insane. The hitters are playing like they have the most veteran status of all time. Like Freddie Freeman up there looks like he's getting a hit every time. Mookie Betts been hitting very well. Mookie Betts was struggling earlier in the year, and now it's just like the entire Dodgers lineup is flipping a switch. Max Muncy, honestly, probably one of my favorite players on the Dodgers. Dude just rakes. He seems like the most impossible
Yeah.
strikeout at the moment. So I mean, it. I think it's going to be a great World Series, but I honestly will be shocked if the Mariners come away with 2 wins in this World Series.
Yeah, the Dodgers have been dominant. NL has been a one-sided race pretty much this entire way. We said it at the beginning of the year, and we're saying it now. It was always going to be the Dodgers, and it seems like that we kind of went away from the Dodgers for a little bit just because of the injuries that they've had throughout the season. They didn't have their full complete team. It was always going to be the Dodgers come playoff time. This roster, this hitting lineup is just so stacked, and how dominant the pitching rotation has been, it takes it to a whole nother level. In the AL, though, we've had really, really good series. Tigers Mariners obviously goes to game 5, 15 innings. Unbelievable way to end that series. And then what a comeback for the Blue Jays. You go down 0-2. You win there. Then you get into another elimination game once you go down 3-2. To then come back in both of those scenarios to win, to get to your first World Series in over 30 years is pretty unbelievable. What an absolute heartbreaker it was, though, for the city of Seattle, seeking their first ever World Series appearance and come that close and fall short again is just brutal for Seattle. Their team was stacked with a bunch of offensive firepower. They made some moves at the deadline to really make a push for this year, and to see them fall short does suck. But congrats to the Blue Jays, Dodgers both making it to the World Series, starting here this week. So we're going to be crowned. We're going to have a new world champion here in baseball here in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I do want to add on, I personally don't think it's going to make much of a difference with him missing a lot of the season. I do believe Bo Bichette has a chance at making the World Series appearance. I don't really know how you can just throw someone into the fire at this point of the season, especially against the pitchers that the Dodgers have. But I mean, at certain parts of the season, that's the Blue Jays' best bet. So I mean, it's hard to not at least give him a chance. But if he's going 0 for 4, 0 for 5 with 3-4 Ks, everyone's going to be like, all right, this guy's, it's kind of a waste to even throw him in the lineup at this point.
Would be a wild move if they decided
Yeah.
to, with potentially 7 games left in the year, and to throw in one of your franchise players who hasn't played all year in would be an absolute wild move.
Yeah. And obviously I don't dig too deep into it. I don't know what all goes into the circumstance of the actual roster size right now and if he's even able to join, but something had popped up on my phone today that there's actually a chance he's back and able to play. And stuff like this is weird too. He's probably been rehabbing. He's probably been on the machine
Yeah.
facing 90, 95, 100 miles an hour. I'm not saying he can't hit the Dodgers pitching right now, but once it comes game time, it's just completely different atmosphere. And then everything you essentially worked on come game time, it's out of your head. It's hard to be actually focused on what you did trying to get back to who you are now.
Yeah, would be crazy if he finds a way to get some playing time in this series, but we'll see. We'll see. We both expected the Dodgers to be here. The Blue Jays were a little bit of a surprise this year. Knew that they were going to have talent, but for them to finally get to this point, playing the Dodgers in the state that they are, it's going to be an interesting series. I do believe that the Dodgers are going to run away with this one, similar to last year. I don't think it's going to be very close. I thought Seattle would have a better chance from top to bottom against this Dodgers team. Don't think the result would be any different. So I am going to give it to the Dodgers in this one, but Blue Jays are playing good baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean the Blue Jays do get the perk of being at home to start off the series, which I mean it's always huge. And I think if we're talking about an ideal goal here from the Blue Jays, winning two, if they're going to win 2 games, this is their best shot at the very start of the World Series because going deeper and deeper, I think they're just outmatched with the Dodgers pitching.
Yeah, I think that's correct. But we'll be here to cover it all through this entire World Series. Been a lot to get to this point, but we're here. This is playoff baseball. This is October baseball. This is the Fall Classic, the World Series. So we're going to be here to cover it all. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe the team up north gets it done. I hope not for the sake of our country, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Dodgers too much, so I don't think it'd be
I don't
the
either.
worst thing in the world. But yeah, I mean, if it's any other team, I think I could possibly agree. But except the Brewers, actually, I think I would have actually taken the Blue Jays over the Brewers and the Dodgers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But Carrie, let's throw it to our one and only segment today, and that is You Know You Are Old When. Take it away.
All right, you're old when you are very okay with just staying at home to watch your favorite sports team play a game. You don't need to be there. You don't need to go somewhere, sit around your friends, screaming, drinking, doing whatever. I know you and I have actually had this debate with one of our buddies, and I think we've even talked about like maybe a certain sports team, like you're not leaving your place. It's like you're not going to go to a bar and watch it. It's one thing if you're in town, able
Right.
to be in person, that's like a completely different thing. But if there's definitely certain times where someone's asked me like, "Hey, you want to go somewhere for the game?" and it's like, no, not really. I want to sit on my couch and like stress this one out by myself.
I agree. Getting older, like it's honestly, it's getting to the point where there are certain scenarios where it's more enticing to. You want to go to the game, got an extra ticket. You're kind of like, "Well, no,
Yeah,
would rather watch it
right.
at home. Can get up, go to the bathroom, do whatever, make some food, grab drinks at any time, and just kick it up on the couch rather than going to the game and spending a bunch of money. I think that's a real thing when you get older.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think I just like outside of going to the game, it's just like I can watch this at my own house, apartment, whatever. I don't got to listen to a bunch of people screaming. I don't have to scream to talk to people. Like I don't
Sit in
know. Maybe it's
traffic.
just me. Right. Sit in traffic. We got to worry about Ubering home then. I mean, there's just a
Yeah.
whole bunch of factors. But what is, I know I'm old. You know you're old when.
You know you're old when it comes Christmas time and gift receiving time because the gifts change as you get older. When you're young, it's I don't know, Little Tikes basketball hoops or Hot Wheels or Legos. Then you start getting a little older and then you maybe get a cell phone or a new video game. Nowadays, if I'm receiving a gift and I get like a new pair of house slippers or a new spatula for my grill, it makes my entire week. Like, let's be
Yeah.
real here.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as a kid, you'd get socks sometimes just because your parents know you need them. Like, and it's probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But then like now when I get a pair of like white Nike socks, I'm like, thank God. Like I actually needed these.
I need these. I know, right? You go
Yeah.
from your Nike, your one pair Nike Elite socks that you get for Christmas to the 6 or 12 pack of just white cotton crew
Yep.
socks.
Yeah. And it's honestly like, well, I don't have to buy these now. Like this is awesome. Like perfect gift,
Yeah,
honestly.
agreed, 100%. And also the amount of socks that my washer and dryer eat is actually unbelievable.
Yeah. I've
That
never
pack of six turns into a pack of four within one wash.
Yeah, I've never really understood how that works either because I'm very attentive to make sure I pull everything out of the washer and out of the dryer. Like I fucking just like stick my head in that thing to make sure everything's out of there. And then I'm
Yeah,
folding everything and I have like one sock and I don't even have a pair and I'm like where could this have possibly gone? Like it literally makes zero sense.
no idea. Makes no sense. I'd be shocked if there was one time in my life, just one singular time where I was folding my clothes and all of my socks matched.
Yeah, I mean like I'm a person where like if I don't have a matching sock, I definitely let it sit in my drawer by itself because I know it's bound to happen
Yep.
again. So I'll be able to create a pair
Yep.
down the line. But it's just like I can't mismatch socks because if I had to put them on, even if I had pants on, no one could see them. It would be in my head like, okay, now I got to make sure my pants don't like wrinkle upwards or anything so people see my socks. Like I don't know. I think about that stuff
100%.
way too often.
No, I agree with you. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. But that is wraps up. You know you are old when for this week's edition. Kerry, let's throw it over to the college football season. We're about halfway through the year. We've had some ups, downs, some teams fall off, some teams pick up here. Halfway through the season, who would you say is your team who's your leading favorite of this year, and who's a team that you've been disappointed in?
Oh man, disappointment team. I'm not like I generally don't feel bad for this team. Penn State, huge disappointment. You always expect them to do the James Franklin thing. Like they get close every single year, but there's just like the one they actually face a really good team, but they just lose every time. Um, but I think the disappointing thing is, you have a very close game against Oregon, which they didn't look horrible in. Didn't look good, but didn't look horrible. And then their loss to UCLA was kind of mind-boggling, but part of me thinks UCLA may be clicking a little bit. I'm not saying UCLA is at all a great team, but I still think Nico is still a solid quarterback. And then losing at Northwestern, I will fend for Northwestern. I don't think they're a horrible football team, but with Penn State's stature they've had the past few years, you don't lose that game. And just they're losing, fired their head coach, Drew Aller's out for the year. There physically just isn't a more disappointing football team unless you want to drop to some of the like Charlotte. Like they're on Charlotte's level, in my opinion, right now. And I've spoken
Penn
very
State and
poorly.
Charlotte.
Yeah, yeah. But my team shocked me, and I do have a reason for saying this. I'm gonna give it to Indiana University, just because you and I had a million friends last year that if it was not IU, they'd be out tailgating that playoff game, repping Notre Dame gear. Just like it's great, it's
Yeah.
whatever. You never really had to think about that with IU football because they were just never in contention. But my issue with it this year is last year you had all those Notre Dame IU fans wearing IU gear because they claimed it was going to be their only time they're ever going to be there. And now they have a better team than they did last year. And it's like, all right, it's getting to the point where you got to make a decision here.
Just go. Just stay over there. I don't even care.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Just if IU's going to do this, you got to pick a team. I'm not saying don't go to Notre Dame, don't tailgate, don't go to the games, but I don't want to hear anymore. It's like, oh, this is their only time they're going to be here, so I'm going to cheer for them this year. It's like, no, the same thing's going to happen
I hear you.
this year again.
I hear you. IU has been shocking. Their defense is really good. Mendoza, their quarterback, has been really good. Their team that's clicking on all cylinders with the right guy, a head coach, and a fan base that is behind them right now. So, I mean, yeah, they're a dangerous team for sure. Miami, and again, probably not shocking, but they've shocked me with how good they are. Texas A&M is another team that shocked me with how good that they are. And I know I just said the two opponents that Notre Dame's lost to, but they are good. I will say too, and again, I said it earlier. Then we saw a showing from Georgia that didn't look so great, and now I think they're back. Like I don't think my reasoning for thinking Georgia is legit has to do with not their defense. Their offense has taken another level than what they've had in their past, and their defense is actually the one that's taken the step back. It hasn't been that way at Georgia. It's usually led by their defensive, especially defensive front. And this year they've got an offense that's really good. So I think Georgia's a team that surprised me this year with how good that they've had, and they haven't really had much recognition just because they haven't been as good as they've been in the past. Yeah, your Penn State, your Texases, your Clemsons, we talk about them all the time, honestly.
Yeah.
But I do think like the teams that are up top, and again, if you look at the top five, not surprised the teams that are there. The top 10, for most of them, not surprised they're teams that are there. If you'd have told me that in week 7 or week 8 of this college football season that Vanderbilt was going to be a top 10 team, I would have told you you're fucking nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Vanderbilt looks good. I would love to see them in an SEC championship.
That would be insane.
Yeah, I mean,
If Vanderbilt finds a way to get through that SEC schedule to get there.
Yeah, I mean, LSU is still LSU. They managed to beat them. I would never say that this year's LSU team is horrible. They still have a projected great college quarterback, and we've seen their offense just fly fly at certain times of this season. And it's just like they are winning games that I think a lot of people are still counting them out on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even
This
Bama.
college football season. Oh, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't. It's hard for me to determine. It felt last year. It felt like there were three teams that I think had a chance that I thought were significantly better than the other top five, top 10 teams in college football. This year, I don't really know. Like I think Miami is a step up. I still like. Am I crazy for saying I'm still not convinced on Ohio State? Like I don't. I haven't seen anything significantly better than what I saw last year. You know,
Yeah.
are they
I mean,
elite? Yes, Ohio State is elite, but I
is
comparing them to
does
last year has been wild.
does Big Ten still have two sides? Is that still a thing?
No.
Okay, so I'll say it right now. I think Indiana beats Ohio State in a low scoring game in the Big Ten championship.
Okay, so that you're pretty much saying that IU wins out, Ohio State wins out. They're both in the Big Ten championship, and IU beats them.
Yes, I'm not sold on Ohio State's quarterback yet. I'm not saying they
No,
haven't played good teams. They've played good teams, but it's their defense winning them all these games, and they haven't played an offense like
yeah, no, I
IU's.
hear you. I don't think that's a crazy take to say, honestly. If you asked me 6 weeks ago, I would have told you you're nuts. But at this point
Yeah,
in the season, I don't think that's a crazy take. I because again, Ohio State, Julian Sand, I don't really know how he is against that top competition, and it's tough for me to even admit that I use in the consideration of the top competition. And you go into a neutral site setting that's essentially a home game for Indiana with how close that is to Bloomington. I don't think that's a horrible take. I think you're wrong. I think Ohio State beats them, but I don't think it's a horrible take.
it's really the only two teams right now truly competing
Yeah,
for it. What, Iowa
I
maybe? What are
mean
they?
USC and Michigan in Big Ten standings are up there.
Hell no. Neither one of those teams are beating either one of those teams.
I yeah, I mean we already saw. Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Big Ten is pretty set in stone. The SEC, anything could happen still in the SEC. I'm still not convinced on even the top 3, 4 teams right now. I would not be shocked
yeah,
if someone sneaks in late, but I think that's what makes the SEC great right now is that like it's not going to be just two teams, and it's one or the other at the end of the year. Like I couldn't tell you
right.
who's going to win the SEC this year. I have my opinion. I think Alabama's really turned it on since their one loss against Florida State. Um, but even then, we've seen Alabama play really bad this year, seen them play really good, and it seems like that's kind of what the SEC is doing outside of like I don't know, I'd maybe say Georgia. Georgia's played very well outside of maybe that first half against Alabama this year.
Yeah, definitely the difference in conference for sure this year. The SEC, the middle of the pack, are the ones that are now contending up there with the Vanderbilts, and I mean we even have Oklahoma still in contention. Ole Miss is up there, Georgia, Alabama. Whereas the Big Ten, now you're starting to see teams pull away, and that middle of the pack isn't as good anymore because we have some people pulling away. So we'll see what finishes it up, how it finishes it up. We're going to be here to cover it all. College football playoff rankings are going to start coming out here in the next month, so we'll unpack that. See where our Irish land. See if the early two losses can keep us in the hunt as long as we keep winning. So we'll be here to cover it all. So stay tuned for that. But Kerry, let's throw it over to our college football preview this week. We got 3 games, starting it off with number 8 Ole Miss going on the road at number 13 Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 4.5-point favorites at home. Over under is 54.5. What do you think about this one?
There's a few different things. I was very heavy on Oklahoma against Texas with their starting quarterback back. And I don't know if Oklahoma's offense just couldn't figure it out. I know Texas has a good defense. Like, I'm not shocked that it was a low scoring game. But Oklahoma's quarterback really struggled. I don't know if maybe he's still feeling his injury a little bit. I don't know if Texas's defense is truly just that legit compared to their offense. Um, but watching enough of that game is going to keep me on Ole Miss's side. Ole Miss, their offense is explosive. You know, I'm not going to say it's one of the best defenses in the SEC, but it's been relatively pretty solid this year. And I think for that being said, I'm going to take Ole Miss, even though it's at Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah, this game 4.5 is. I think that's a weird line for me. I don't like that line at all. And I also don't know how much I like this Oklahoma team if Mateer doesn't play that great. Texas exposed a
Yeah.
lot of cracks in the Oklahoma defense, and it was even exposed even more so when Mateer wasn't playing that well and Oklahoma wasn't putting up points. On the other hand, Ole Miss's offense has been firing on all cylinders all year. We know that they're coming off of an emotional shootout loss to Georgia. Again, this 4.5 line is weird to me. I think there's going to be a lot of points. I don't like Ole Miss to be able to stop Mateer, and I don't. And the Ole Miss offense has been so good that I don't really know what defense or what Oklahoma's defense is going to be able to do against them. Give me over 54.5. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just don't really like the spreads. I just don't think these defenses. They've shown there's enough signs to where I think they're going to be exploited this week from both sides. So give me the points.
Yeah, I mean, I'm traditionally an under guy, but this is a game that I would not even consider taking the under in this game. Like you said, Ole Miss, explosive offense. We've seen Mateer and how good he can be, and that's scary enough for me to stay away from the under. So I'm right with you on the over. It's just at the same time, betting on the over after watching Oklahoma last weekend is a
Seems
very
dumb.
hard thing to do. Was that last week or was that 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago against Texas?
that was 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, yeah. Either way, just you can't convince me to bet on over under in that game.
I hear you. It's going to be a really good game, though. I believe this one's at noon. Starts off your Saturday slate with an absolute bang. Top 15 ranked matchup in the SEC. Huge. This game matters a ton for both teams to keep them in the hunt. Clearly for Oklahoma, who already has an SEC loss. So very important game for both teams to keep their seasons on the right track, and we'll see what happens. All right, Kerry, let's throw it over to the Big 12. Teams that we haven't talked a ton about this year. Big 12, honestly, is just a hard conference to talk about nowadays. But we got number 11 BYU going on the road at Iowa State. Iowa State's 2.5 point favorites at home, over unders 48.5. What are your thoughts in this one?
I think it's the weirdest spread of all time. I don't know how after the last few games Iowa State's deserved that spread. Um, but it's like a weird enough spread for me. Something's up. So I honestly would stay on Iowa State's side for this game.
Okay. Yeah, BYU, I agree this line. If you're just looking at the teams, the spread, you see a number 11 ranked BYU getting 2.5 points on the road as dogs. It is a little of a crazy concept to think about, but BYU's coming off an emotional win at Utah. Took a lot to get that one out of to walk away with a win there. And I agree with you. You have Iowa State who's had a lot of time to sit back on their previous couple of weeks. You lose to Cincinnati, you lose to Colorado, then you have a bye week to put it all together. BYU's defense hasn't been talked about enough this year. They've been really, really good. BYU's offense, on the other hand, with Bear Backmeyer at quarterback, I don't think they're very strong in the running back department. I don't think they have a clear RB2. So I'm going to pull for Iowa State in this one with the time that they've had in the bye week. BYU coming off an emotional win. This is a good spot for Iowa State. I also think both these teams are very similar to each other. They both struggle to have quality drives turn into some sort of points. Iowa State gets the statement win. I think BYU is going to need to score more than 27 points, 27 or more points to win this one. I don't think Iowa State's given that up, so give me the Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I think this is a stay away game, in my opinion, though. I don't like this spread at all. How do you like? I physically don't understand how Iowa State's favored in this game.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. It's a stinky line for sure. So we'll see how it shakes out. But Kerry, let's throw it to our last game of the night that we're going to preview, and that is number 3 Texas A&M going on the road at number 20 LSU. LSU is 2.5-point dogs at home. Over under is 48.5. Is this a job saving game for Brian Kelly?
If it's not too late already, I would say yes.
Okay.
This is another one. In my heart, my heart's just saying take LSU. I don't know why though. Texas A&M is clearly a better team than me, but it's just like playing at LSU is very difficult. There's pressure on the
Mm-hmm.
line for LSU and Brian Kelly. Texas A&M obviously does not want to lose a game. Can they afford a single loss this year? Yes. Do they want it? Of course not. But I'm telling you, LSU and Iowa State, one of those teams is bound to win. And, it doesn't make sense to me in my head. I don't want to take either school, but one of them is going to win, if not both of them.
Yeah, you would like to think so. I agree with you. This game, really good game. And we've seen the LSU team this year. Really good defense, offense that has struggled when that was their strong suit last year. Texas A&M's defensive line has been killer again all year. We know LSU's offensive line has struggled. They've given up a lot of sacks. LSU hasn't been able to run the ball at all. I like a low-scoring affair here. Is that too much of a cold take to say? With how good LSU's defense has been, how good Texas A&M's defense has been, we've seen an electric offense from Texas A&M. I agree with you. I would love to take LSU with the points at home, but I simply cannot trust Brian Kelly teams. I've said it before on this podcast. Give me the Aggies to continue their undefeated season, not only to win, but to cover. I can't trust Brian Kelly, even if it's at home in that crazy environment.
Yeah, and this is a game too. I think I might even actually take the under in this game, but it is a really nerve-wracking after watching what Texas A&M and Florida did 2 weeks ago now. I think they put up like the easiest 21 points in like 7 minutes I've ever seen in my life in the first quarter. But like you just get that in the SEC at the times at times.
Yeah.
It's just you never really know what you're going to get. And that game still almost hit the under. It went into like the very last possession of the game where it finally hit the over.
Right. And it's been, I will say, this college football season, it's been harder to predict some of these games. I mean, lines are getting sharper, teams are getting more unpredictable. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I agree. I think a lot of the lines in this slate, the BYU, Iowa State could go either way. This LSU could go either way. I do really like the Ole Miss Oklahoma. I've got no idea what to do. I do like the over-unders this week for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because I can't commit to one of these bigger spreads or low spreads, ranked teams going on the road. A lot of different factors, but overall, decent college football slate. We've got some ranked matchups. Things could really shake the college football playoff rankings here this week.
Yeah, and we are here for it.
We are. we are.
Except Notre Dame.
True.
Except Notre Dame. They got to win.
They do have to win.
Oh, bye week.
Gotta win out.
Bye week, actually. Thank God. I forgot. It's a bye week.
We got to win the bye. We got to win the bye week.
Yeah, I guess that is an important one.
It's arguably the most important week.
we need Navy to win. Syracuse to be competitive.
Be competitive.
What's the other game? Other two games.
Pitt, Stanford.
Oh fuck! I forgot about Pitt. Pitt's gonna be deceivingly tough. Actually, I think that's the one game I'm most nervous about. I understand Navy's undefeated still. I'm still more worried about Pitt.
Go Irish.
Yep.
Go Irish.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Kerry, that rounds out a pretty decent week's college football slate this week. Let's get to the best part of every episode. That's not the best bet, but that is the special edition best bet. Not one, but two picks for the people. Carrie, today is Friday. It is weekend time. We need to go on another heater. We are on a heater. There's two best bets out there today and two tomorrow. What's your one for today?
All right, I mentioned it already. Charlotte is one of the worst football teams I've ever seen in my life. We have North Texas at Charlotte. North Texas minus 26.5 is what I will be on. I had South Florida a couple weeks ago to cover 27.5 against Charlotte, and they did. They won by, I think they won by 29 actually. But then South Florida goes and plays North Texas, wins by 1 or 2. So if my math is mathing, North Texas will find a way to win by 1 point at least. Hit the cover the spread by 1 point.
There you go. I heard it here first.
Yeah. Yes, but that'll be my Friday night pick. What is your Friday night pick?
My Friday night pick for this week will be over on the X page. Gotcha. You have to go follow us on our X to see what my play for today is. However, I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry. Tomorrow, Saturday, I do have a best bet. One of the two that we have, and that is going to be Minnesota plus 8.5 against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa look-ahead spot with Oregon coming to Kinnick next week. I think they're going to be way more focused on that to try to get a statement win than this 5-2 Minnesota team. Don't think Minnesota wins. Don't think they're very great, they're very good at all, to be honest with you. But I do like them to cover here at 8.5 here at Iowa. What about you, Carrie? What's going to get the sweep today or tomorrow on this fine Saturday?
Well, first off, I will say Minnesota is coming off of a big win against Nebraska. They might win. I don't think them and Iowa are going to be pounding the football down each other's throats, scoring a ton. For that being said, I do love this. I do love the spread of that game. But one of my favorite teams to bet on all year, South Florida at Memphis. There's 0 defense on either one of these teams. It's all offense. Over 62.5 points is the play on Saturday.
Woo! That's a lot of points.
Points. But I do like it a lot. 2 high-powered offenses. Like I said, 0 defense. This might be a bankroll play, bank account play.
Uh-oh. You heard it here first. Yeah. Bank account play from Carrie. And Friday, we got North Texas spread. Tomorrow, we got Minnesota plus 8.5 in the over in the South Florida Memphis game. Let's go 4-0, Carrie. We want to win money this week. The people want to win money this week. Vegas wants to lose money this week. I got a call. We got the script. You heard it here on Gotchasports. That's going to round out today's episode. If it's your first time joining us, appreciate you. Returners, all the love. Go follow us on all of our socials. We got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, you name it. We got it. Carrie, that's all I got. What do you got?
We got your sports.
Until next time.